Like, click the speaker thing to mute the audio. Of course, we get feedback. You get a delay. It's about 3 seconds behind. So you hear yourself speak 3 seconds later. Sorry, you. Cool. Ready to go? All right, coffee, Nigel.
Yeah, I'm good. What do you want to do? Do you want to, I mean,
We're going to start.
We're going to start. We're going to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
You're born ready for video, weren't you?
Of course it's my media. This.
Good morning and welcome to the Progress Shed and this fantastic session we've got coming. Hopefully we're going to get people joining in. We've had some Zoom nightmares as we've gone through. Morning, Jim. Morning, Carolyn. So we've had some Zoom nightmares over the last week where they deleted the whole lot, changed our license, and then it was all working yesterday, and then we managed to have to reset it about 3 minutes ago. So welcome as you come in. So we'll be a little bit slow with the introductions this morning, just to give people a chance to actually log in. Morning, Michael. Hope you're well as well. It was good to see you in Lidl the other day for the love of an exciting time. And it's amazing how we can recognize each other with masks on. So moving forward, we're still facing lots of challenges for businesses, lots of challenges in terms of our ability to market and even operate. And the changing rules are all a little bit exciting. Lots of threats and lots of challenges. But as we come through the back end of this year, as we come into the start of 2021 and beyond, probably the thing that's going to set most businesses apart and give most businesses an advantage is going to be their ability to communicate effectively. And effective communication comes through a whole range of mechanisms. It comes through your PR side of things. And if you've been paying attention to the Speak PR series, that course is starting, I think, in about 3 weeks' time with Jim, James and Mark. And really we'll talk you through the basis of getting all the soft marketing going. And if you're interested in that, please just get in touch. And I think we've got about 3 spaces left on that. I'm sure Jim will confirm what's there, and therefore getting that whole side of things going. But one of the biggest ways to get noticed in the modern marketplace that is the internet is through your use of video. And from our side, we've come across very few people who are stronger and more informed on this than our very own Nigel Smith.
Hello.
So without further ado, Nigel's got a presentation here, and then we can open this up to questions, etc. So we'll field the chat box, and Nigel will run you through. And if you've got any questions, put them in the chat box. We'll unmute people if we have time. But on that note, Nigel.
Thank you very much, Peter. A very kind and informed introduction. This is the webinar that I put together, and it's entitled The Cornerstone of Your 2021 Marketing. And hopefully by the end of this webinar, you will agree that video should be the cornerstone of your 2021 marketing. Just a quick little bit about me. I'll whiz through this, to be honest. It's a massive subject, and I'm covering a lot of ground. So what I'll do is I'll skip through most sort of sections and not dive in too deep, to give you a broad overview. So I've been making videos for about 25 years. I run a company called Supermotion, which is a local full-service video production company. And we handle the whole process from workshopping content ideas to activating the final videos. If you don't understand what that means, you will by the end of this webinar. I've worked on video marketing for brands like Sainsbury's, Arla, Kalina Logistics. Those are probably the biggest companies on that list, but there's lots of big international companies. Now, the problem we're open to solving this morning is this, that business owners know that they need to incorporate video into their marketing plans. This is true because I've spoken to a hell of a lot of them, and they all know. They nod their heads very convincingly. Go, yeah, I've heard, I know. When I started the business, I kind of used to say, you need video in your marketing, and they used to go, oh, really? That's interesting. Now they go, yeah, I know. I've been told enough now. I know I need video in my marketing. Some of them, not all, are aware that the need to do this is increasing. So they all know they need to do it. Some of them know that the need is increasing, but for various reasons, they are failing to act. And it's my argument that 2021 will be the crunch point. The year video can no longer be ignored or put on the sidelines. That's my argument, but hopefully I will convince you that it's true during this webinar. So here's the first of the stats. I'm going to try and go stat light on this webinar because they're dull and you can get statistics to prove anything. 36% of people know that. Global mobile traffic is a good one though. This is video traffic and it shows incremental growth. This is measured in petabytes. If you don't know what a petabyte is, you don't need to worry. It's a big number. In 2018, you can see the global mobile video traffic was very low. 2020, we are going up, and the projected growth going forward is even more bigger steps that we're going to see. And there's just a few more little stats to emphasize that point. So this is the first one is a stat from this year. So 33% of the time we're spending online, we're currently watching video. If you think about everything you can do online, that's significant. 82% of all internet traffic from video by 2022. So of everything you can do on the internet, 82% of the traffic by 2022 will be used to watch video. This is a bit of a depressing one. 12 minutes is the amount of time the average Brit can leave their phone alone and not check it. Quite staggering. I don't know if you've seen The Social Dilemma on Netflix, but that gives an interesting insight into why we're doing that. I will also touch on it a little bit. And 75% of mobile traffic data will come from video by 2021. And that's significant. I'm going to talk about video and the relationship we have with video and our mobile phones in the next section. So we know video is on the up. We know mobile use is on the up. And this is why I think video is the king of kings, because it's undisputed that all marketers agree. I'm sure everyone in the Progress Shed agree. Everyone agrees.
Obviously. We all agree.
Not that video is king of kings, that I'll come to that, but that content is king. Content is king, right? No one ever argues against that. Everyone agrees content is king because it's the best way to market. It's the best way to develop relevant, digestible content. But the best way to digest the content is with video. And that's what makes video the king of kings. And that's why I've got a nice little picture of a crown there. So this is a huge topic and I'm going to skip through it very quickly because I don't want anyone to get too bored. The psychological reasons that we are actually so involved with mobile phones and video can be broken down into more categories than this, but this is simplifying it. It's 4 categories: movement, chemicals, the sense of self, and our love of story. The first one is movement, and humans have been evolved forever to detect movement, in particular snakes. And there's a whole theory about snake detection theory, which is the humans that could detect the snakes were the ones that survived. So if you see even the slightest movement in the corner of a room, your eyes are particularly have evolved to be able to spot it. And that's why if you see your phone on the other side of the room and it's even turned upside down, a little vibration or a light flashing you'll be drawn to it because we've been evolved to detect that. Phones then use this and they play to the fact and they beg for our interaction. And of course, we're talking about video, so we're talking about the moving image. Our eyes are drawn to movement. chemicals, dopamine's now sort of everyone knows about dopamine. It's a neurochemical that shows us something needs paying attention to. It's also called the love drug, or just it's a positive feeling we get. And our phones are dopamine pumps. Every time we interact with it, we get a little hit. And it's the same thing. We get a positive feeling when we watch videos on our phone, and then we get a chemical release. I'm really oversimplifying it, but that's basically a significant reason why we're so involved with our phones and with watching video on them. And the third one is the sense of self. Our phones have become an extension of who we are. Lots of things are an extension of who we are, not just our phones, but our family, our friends, our favorite clothes. A good indicator of how to discover what is in your sense of self is if you lose something and you feel emotionally distraught. Then you're probably keeping that in your extension of actually who you are. Videos we see in our phone are within our circle of self, and that means immediately it gives us a marketing opportunity, because it's already in our circle, we value it so much higher. We already kind of trust it. And the big one is storytelling. It's the best of the bunch. It's what Supermotion's all about. We tell stories. Emotional storytelling. This is a few headlines, a few sort of key things. Again, you could run a whole webinar on storytelling, but it is without question the most powerful and persuasive tool at our disposal, and something all businesses should be using. So firstly, back to a bit of science, evolution. We evolved to hear stories. We look at cavemen and the drawings on cave walls. They're stories, they're caveman videos. They didn't have video cameras, but they did have walls and some chalk. Storytelling switches on our brains and pulls us in. This has always been the case and always will be the case. You need to tell stories in your videos. The second sort of headline that I'd like to talk about is emotion, and that's often something that people forget about, but it's actually the first thing you need to think about. What emotion do you want to leave your viewer with at the end of, after they finish watching your film? The next thing is lack. That's another emotional storytelling tool you can use. So leave your audience feeling that they're missing out on something, or they're envious or jealous. You can also use a technique called PAS, or PAS, which is problem, agitate, solve. That involves showing the viewer that they have a problem, one that they already know they have, agitating it slightly, making it seem a little bit worse, or making them visualize how bad it is, and then offering a solution, which is usually your service or product that can solve all of their problems. The next headline is journey. So we always like to take our viewers on a journey in the videos we make, because that makes the story so much more compelling. There has to be a start, a middle, and an end, and they really need to be the hero. Not your business doesn't need to be the hero. It's the viewer of the video that needs to be the hero of that story. It's an amazing way to explain something and to take your viewer on a story. On a journey, sorry. And finally, you need to leave them inspired to act. Which emotion will cause your audience to feel something powerful enough to remember you, and crucially, be inspired for them to act. So the webinar so far, I hope I've convinced you that we know that video demand is increasing. We all agree that, right? That's undisputable. The slightly more questionable point is the universal agreement that 2021 is the crunch point. That's what I invented that. So it's probably not universal actually, but I do strongly believe it. And I hope you do too by now. The next point is that we know why this is happening. So we know that our brains are controlled by movement, chemicals, the sense of self, storytelling. And next, I'm going to take you on to the next step, which is how to take advantage of these things. We all know what this is, right, chaps? It's your traditional sales funnel, but it's a little dull. So let's move on to our digital sales funnel, which is a bit more up to date. What part of this funnel needs video? First of all, let's have a look at it. So it's a lot more narrow at the top. We're a lot more focused in where we gain our awareness of a brand. And the consideration phase is huge. It's expansive. We can kick back there. We can relax. The rush is not on. It's a good place to chill and just soak up lots of content. Keep it all coming. And then the action's just finally the same. So what part of this funnel needs video? Well, you know, I run a video production company. I would say all of it. And I stand by that, actually, all of it, because there's different kinds of videos that fit into different parts of the funnel, and they're all as valuable as the next. Yeah, a few questions there. What might your message be at each stage? How could you grab the attention at the awareness stage? We'll go into that a little bit more. What conversations will excite your audience in the consideration phase to keep them engaged? And what key messages might convert people in the action phase? I will break each of those down now. But first, we'll talk about what YouTube recommends our content strategy should be. Now, it's very helpful of YouTube to recommend these things, and there's something to it. And as a beginning point, it's a great thing to look at because it makes you think about video differently, and I'm all for that. But videos don't always fit into these three little nice, neat YouTube categories. They sometimes can overlap, and some videos don't exist in these spaces at all. This is a good guideline, but not something you should rule your video marketing campaign by. And there we go, we're back in the room. First is Hero, and that's the most fun video to make. It's the big budget video. You make 1 or 2 of these a year, you push it out to a big audience. This is what you spend your money on. You use pay-per-click, you sponsor posts, you create a big buzz, you're pushing it out to a huge market. This is not focused. It is focused, but it's focused to a big, broad market, and you're grabbing as much attention as you can. The next videos are Hub, and that's more of a just keeping in touch. So it's vlogs, it's case studies, it's social media posts. It's, you know, go and interview your client, tell your customers what you're doing. They already know you, they already like you because they've responded to you already. Hub videos can be slightly longer because you already know you're not going to bore them. They've already committed to you. And finally, there's the health and hygiene videos, which is how can we help you? These are great, and it's a great way to get people to discover you, because people don't search for the Hub videos. You need to already be invested in your company to watch those, but they will search for questions, and they'll search for things to try and problems to try and solve. And that's why health and hygiene videos are so good. Equally, if you use some evergreen questions that won't ever get old, that means you're creating video content that will continue to help you indefinitely. So the kind of videos that you make in the health hygiene section are frequently asked questions, tips, tutorials, that kind of thing. Solve problems. So a little warning out there, most people need to hear this. Resist temptation to just make hero content. I said before, they're the most fun to make, and you know, we love making them, but you need to plan your whole campaign before pushing for the big video. Some people say make hero videos first. I don't agree. I think always have a bed of help and hub content in there before you push for your hero content, because if you don't do that, then they watch the hero content, they love it, they buy into you, they say, yeah, oh, I love these guys, I think they can make a big difference to my life, let me check them out a bit more. There's nothing there. There's nowhere for them to go. So having a bit of a bed of help and hub content is really helpful before you jump into the hero. So now we're gonna look at back to our digital sales funnel, but we're gonna talk about what videos to place in the different sections of the digital sales funnel. So hero, obviously, because that's the point of the hero video, you're gaining awareness, and also help, because from an SEO perspective, that's a great way to draw people in. And I chose some examples here. I don't think we're going to be able to have sound, but that's okay. You can see this, right? And if I try to add sound, it doesn't matter. Let's just carry on. So Nike nailed this during lockdown. I'm sure most of you have seen this video. And it's a great way to use hero videos, is to capitalize on a trend or something that's topical. And this was their response to lockdown. It was repurposing existing footage so they didn't have to shoot anything. It was giving people a feeling of empowerment, and that human beings could overcome challenges, which I thought was on the nail. And it was also incredibly cleverly edited. And a wonderful example of a hero video. And Nike continue to put those out. You'll note at the end of that video, there's no call to action. There's no buy some trainers. There's none of that. It's just, we're Nike and we're here to inspire you. I chose this one because I'm the Progress Shed and Action Coach, and I did this little video for them at one of their local events. This, I would say, falls into the hero category because it's an upbeat video that shows that they run big events. It puts them on a pedestal of local ambassadors for business growth. And although you can't hear the music, you can get a feel, I hope, for what makes them so important, what makes them make a difference in this area. It talks about the big speakers they had, the number of delegates they had. It talks about how at the end there's a whole section on how that changed people's lives that went to that event. So, that's their hero video. And Red Bull are also amazing at this. They just kind of, they go along and they sponsor these extreme events, and they just kind of bubble away in the background, keeping their hub videos going and some help videos, mainly hub with Red Bull, but every now and again, they do something awesome. And this was their hero video. So they had someone jumping from space with a parachute on. And YouTube's kicking off now, which is fair enough. But the guy lands it, and it gave so much awareness to Red Bull. Next, the consideration phase of your digital marketing funnel, and yeah, these are videos that are there to kind of just vlogs are really good hub videos, diaries that just kind of show what you've been doing, anything relevant and exciting, any kind of interactions with clients, show people in this section how you're already behaving with your existing client base. Then they can visualize themselves in the place of your existing clients. Waitrose are good at this. They're always chucking out really nice, beautiful little videos, inspiring them to both buy their products, but really it's more just reinforcing, hey, we're Waitrose, we sell really good quality stuff and we're associated with good quality stuff, and these hub videos are going to show you that. 5-minute crafts are really good at this. Craft is a huge industry and section, so they've got a lot of content they can use. So they're really sit pretty in the consideration, and they do a lot of hub and help videos. This is a video I made, and you'll notice I used a bit of PAS at the beginning there. So you create a problem that your clients are having, or your clients' clients are having. In this case, this is a case study I did with the New World Trading Company. So you create New World Trading Company having a problem. They're describing their problem. They're going into a lot of detail about how awful life was before they used my client's product. And that is a great video, a client case study for sitting in that consideration, the hub phase. It's a longer video. It's something that people will tune into, and they'll only tune into that because they've already gone through the awareness phase. So they already know, yeah, these guys are cool. I don't mind sitting here and watching a 3, 4, even 20-minute video because we've already seen the consideration phase it's expansive, it's big, it's somewhere you can really chill out and watch content that you've already said, yeah, I'm interested in that. And finally, the action phase, which is where you want people to act. Videos with trackable KPIs are the order of the day here. And here's a few little examples. So this is a Supermotion one, again from lockdown, and I'm showing you this because it has clear messaging. It's like, yes, we've had to change due to lockdown, but this is how we've changed. And then at the end, there's a clear call to action. This is a great new video that I've seen online recently by a company called Reich. It's a wonderful action video, and it captures your attention, and it gives you clear information about exactly what they're doing and what they want you to do at the end of the video. And here's another little film we made, which is a graphics-led film, and it goes into a lot of detail about exactly what my client offers. And then after that, there's a clear call to action, and these are used on social media. So getting view statistics and KPIs, it's easy to do. These are the ones that need tracking most closely. Okay, so you need to start planning your video content for 2021 now, and here's some questions to get you started. The first one's the who. Most of you, I would hope, already know this. You know who your customers are. You've built out your avatars. You know where they live online, and maybe you don't know what their levers are, though. That's something you need to work out. What buttons do you need to push to get them to respond in the way that you want them to respond? But I'm sure, because this is a action shed webinar, progress shed, sorry, Pete. You know about avatars, but if you don't, there's plenty of online resources for you to look at. And then you need to know when are you talking to them? What time of day? What people want to look at different times of day will change. And so the durations of the video might change. Where they're watching the video might change. If they're on the bus, they're going to be watching on their phone and they haven't got long. If they're at work, they're going to be watching on their laptops. And chances are they're only going to be able to watch certain types of content. Then you need to think about where is your audience? What platforms do they live on? What entertainment do they like? Is it podcasts, online publications, streaming? Where do they do their learning? What blogs do they like? Do they follow any vloggers? And then what is it they're saying? Less is more for this. So, excuse me. What is great for connecting emotionally? But people are busy, so you must be concise and always relevant. So the bounce rate is always increases for longer formats. So be concise and start with a hook. Try and get your audience interested straight away in the first kind of 6 seconds. And finally, give a strong call to action. Different call to actions for different videos that live in different places in the digital sales funnel. Have an end goal in mind and measure the effectiveness. These are huge questions to ask in terms of building out your video marketing for next year. And that is where I will close. I've been Nigel Smith from Supermotion. We can help you with video strategy. We can help you plan out your year, which Hero Hub help videos you need to make, and where they should sit in your funnel, and which emotional responses should they create. We can then handle the video production. We can also recommend what parts of video production you can handle yourself. We work with most budgets, and even if you're filming content yourself, which I would recommend you do for some of these videos, it's still good to have work with a professional video production company that can edit it down for you, that can make it look as good and sound as good as it can be. Have some kind of consistency with your branding so it looks like it lives in the same stable as the rest of your content. And then finally, video activation, which is after you've made those films, actually, what are you going to do with them? How can you make them make a real difference for your business? Thanks a lot for watching.
Brilliant. So some huge amount of information there. Do you want to just stop sharing that? Then
Yep.
we'll be able to see our beautiful selves. And if you actually turn off your video.
What do you mean?
Just at the moment, we're sort of that.
Okay.
And so, yeah, a huge amount of information there. As we move forward, coming through the end of this year and into next, my view, and I think that of certainly Nigel's and most of the team here, is actually pushing forward through the coming months, getting the structure of your business right, getting your marketing right is hugely important. Learning how to tell the stories and actually get the message across in the right format is huge. Establishing the right delivery mechanisms as well. And in response to the question which came into the chat box, a huge amount of the information coming through will be, you don't need to be doing like TV advertising. A lot of it is for your social media advertising, learning how to automate that. That's the Speak PR program. Can't recommend it enough. It's something which we've been working our business through, and it's going really well. And if you want to know more about that, then just give us a shout. But really getting the story right as we move through this times, and as things evolve, we want to take you on a journey where you have the feelings and the emotions, because we don't want anyone to miss out on this. And if we can take you on if we can take you from the beginning through the middle and actually let you be the hero in your own story, you might just be inspired to act. And you can join us with East West PR and the Speak PR program. You can get the video created by Nigel, but all of this will help you to create the awareness. And very much it's about using the video, using the content, using the awareness to push through that consideration phase, and really teach your clients to take action. And do you see what I did there?
Yeah, it was very strong.
Like that.
Very strong.
Like that.
Very strong.
So hugely important. And like from the progress show, we can't be stressing enough how taking action and actually pushing things the right way is the way forward. If we've got, so Jim's just saying the Speak PR program starts on the 29th, and it's a 6 weeks course, guaranteed to offer value, because if you don't get value from any of the courses you do through us, then you can have it back. I think Jim's got an offer at £1,500, so it's for a 6 week course, pretty good, guaranteed results, but it gives you all the tools to get your story out there and to get your videos into the right place. So brilliant stuff. Do we have any questions? So questions, Jim's saying online learning too. Do we have any questions? If you've got questions, please stick them into the chat box. If you'd like to actually ask your question, then let me know and I'll just unmute you. Happy to do that. So from Jim James, actually, we'll just unmute Jim because he can speak for himself. Jim?
Yeah, good morning, Nigel. Thank you. Wonderful presentation. Question, how can people that are in lockdown make video with you? You've got wonderful illustration and graphics. Can we, for example, share our content with you and you then build the videos?
Hi, Jim. Thank you for the compliment. To be honest, it depends on the level of lockdown. So when we were in hard lockdown, we ended up just being a post-production facility. So all we would do is edit, and we would advise on people filming themselves, and we would use content recorded through Zoom, and that got certain results, and it allowed our clients to at least tell their customers how their business is changing and how they've had to change. When things got a little bit better, we were going out in small crews, and we were filming from a distance using boom mics, just one-person crews and only external shoots. And then as things started to return to normal, as did video production, but with certain new regulations in place. In terms of if you're talking about you have got content and you want it edited, then we do that quite a lot. There's it depends on the size of the files. So you can either ship drives to us, or you can upload to a cloud if the files aren't too big.
Great. I can think about for many people that maybe have got content and can't get you on site. Maybe if you can give us some instructions of like a storyboard, we could film it and then, you know, have you embed and manage that. But maybe if, you know, we need to be on location, maybe that you can't get to, we could still work with you to create this great content and get your counsel as well on the marketing side.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's going to happen more and more as time goes on, because this need for video is just going to increase, and we're not going to be able to get it professionally filmed. All the content is not going to be able to be captured by a video production company. And there's an argument to be said that it shouldn't be. But what I'm saying, and I think agrees with what you're saying, is that the strategy needs to be consistent, and working with a video production company doesn't necessarily mean you're getting them to do all your filming for you. If you're working with the right partner, it means you're having consistency through your brand. You're having a solid plan to take you through the year. You're having someone who can actually use the stuff you're shooting and advise you on how to shoot it better. That's kind of where I'm coming from. Does that answer the question, Jim?
Yes, absolutely. I think increasingly might need to be the sort of teamwork, really, where we almost become your remote crew. But I can absolutely see the need for you to give us strategic guidance on whether it's a hub video or a hero video, and the storyboard for that, because that's often where, you know, people like me are really weak, right? We don't really think of the whole narrative of the video, and I can really see what you're talking about there. So thank you for sharing. That's great.
Excellent. Thanks, Jim. So at that point, we're going to begin to draw to a close. Next week, we're going to introduce you to a system just to give you the reminders of all the elements that build a great business. And that's going to be an exciting, fast-paced session, because you've got me. And then moving beyond that, we've got a variety of other people coming through. So we're very delighted to be back on our webinar, having had some Zoom challenges. Massive thank you to Nigel for being with us. If you want to get in touch with us, if you want to talk to Nigel about the type of videos that he can produce and working with him, if you want to talk to us about the Speak PR program, or indeed anything else we've got running from the shed, then please get in touch. Best email just be to send it straight through to office@theprogressshed.com, and you can get through to any one of us, or to give us a call. And our number, I'm sure, will be on the video. Curtis is just looking at me going, I mean like that. And beyond that, keep working hard, keep pushing forward, keep planning your way through this. And there's actually a link to Nigel's website in the chat box there. But keep planning your way through this, keep marketing your way forward. The world will come back to life, and the businesses that will do the best will be those who have positioned themselves to really launch and have been noticed through the whole period. So on that note, we're going to say thank you very much for joining us, and we look forward massively to seeing you shortly. Thanks for your words, Michael. That's great. And we'll catch up with you all very soon. Take care now.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.